What is going on? 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now here at RotoGrinders, GrindersLive. Handed it off to crunch time about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Not talking about all the basketball games tonight. Both the sites cooperated, right? They said, hey, we don't want to talk about Lakers, Magic, or Minnesota, Portland, Boston, Phoenix. The slate ends 8 o'clock on the East Coast, so it's a bit of a sprint slate, a 8-game sprint slate here in the association tonight. Myself, Chop, you got us for the first hour and change till we yield to crunch time. Happy Tuesday, Chop. Chop, it is a television Tuesday. I feel like we haven't had one of these in a while. We'll go ahead and give away a week free of RG Premium. Be the first person to tell me what TV show I am talking about. We'll drop that first clue. You know what? For the early, those that show up on time, let's give the people a head start. If they can bank it, a hole-in-one, we'll drop that first clue. Give me the answer, of course, in the Discord channel. RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. That's the only place to get official guesses in. You're just getting them reps if you're on the YouTube. You can hit the like button if you're on YouTube. That's official. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you know when we go live. Chop, happy Tuesday. How are things?
Yeah, dude, hanging in there, doing the thing, trying to grind out the little NBA here, college basketball, and I feel like I haven't done well the All-Star break, and then you had some issues. You didn't make my last show, so
I had a flood. I woke up to a flood. You ever wake up to a flood? I don't recommend it.
Like as in just in your house. Just in your house or outside?
Yeah, like the house is flooding.
Well, what happened? I need some details.
Busted pipe under the bathroom sink.
And you didn't notice it till the morning time?
No, I mean it just it was a big loud noise. I hear a noise. I'm seeing a puddle in my in the living room. I'm like, and it's getting progressively deeper.
What time is this at that you noticed the noise?
Maybe 10 o'clock. Or so.
Wake you up out of your sleep, or no? You were still wide awake.
No, so I'm far enough away from the bathroom where I couldn't hear the noise. I couldn't hear it. I was in the living room. I must have either a podcast on or something was on. But I couldn't actually hear it. So I was up for an hour or two, but then I just kind of I meandered out. I don't know when it happened officially. Probably within the last 2 hours or so. But I had a flood that it didn't take over the entire house, but enough of it where I had 11 dehumidifiers in my house for 5 or 6 days. That was my life over the All-Star break, going 24/7. So, yeah, don't recommend it if you're in the market considering it. Don't do it. It's not.
Well, it's funny you say that, Dean. About 4 days ago, we're sitting there at nighttime watching a little. I forget what we were watching. Just some TV, wrapping up our TV for the night. And there was some kind of noise in the background, and we were like, what the hell is going on? And all of a sudden we look up in the kitchen, and in the ceiling, there's this water dripping from the ceiling of the kitchen. I'm like, wait a minute. This has never happened before. I've had some leaks before here and there, but nothing ever coming out of the ceiling messing with the drywall up there. That was the first time, but, I got up there in the attic, Dean, and figured out the problem. But, sometimes you got to put your tool belt on and figure it out, man.
What was up there in the attic?
So right around that area is the framework for the upstairs bathroom. And so the pipes for the shower and the bath are behind one of the, behind some drywall and some insulation. And it turns out after a lot of investigation, feeling around underneath the blow insulation that they do up in attics now, looking for the wet spots, no pun intended, looking for the wet spots and trying to figure things out. I finally found the source of the wet spot and then traced it up the wall, and it was coming from a copper pipe in the upstairs bathroom. So got on that the next day, fixed it. But yeah, it's a shocker, man. It sucks when you see things like that happen.
I got upsold by the plumber. The plumber was there, showed up, and he fixed the pipe. And then he goes, "Do you see this wire over here?" He's like, "This one hasn't broken, but it's due. This one's going to break as well." And he's trying to show me. And I nod my head I think I know what he's talking about. He's like, "You know what? I mean, since I'm here, I can knock this out and change it for you for $60." And I'm like, this is such a racket. Like, it's going to take you 3 seconds. You already see I'm having a terrible day, and you have the audacity. No, I didn't say any of this. I said, go ahead, do it, because I just want to get it done. And I'm already in for, whatever I'm in for. It's already a miserable day. But, taking advantage of people, and they're already having a bad day. And he suckered me $60 for a wire, and it took him 3 seconds to switch it out. But you know what? That's one thing I messed up on. You got to make a good friend of a plumber. That's something you should do when you're younger. You get a plumber in your life. I don't have one of those. If you can, like a mechanic, become a good friend with a mechanic shop or a
plumber, electrician.
Yeah, like I don't have any of that.
Any of that stuff is good. Even I've even got a friend. Not very much of a friend now. Like, it's been a long time. I had a friend who at one point he was a lawyer. He graduated from law school and everything. I called him up a couple of times with a couple of questions, but we haven't talked in a long time. But that's always helpful too.
All right. Tonight we have 8 games here in the association. Again, just an hour as far as the start to finish. So it is a sprint slate. Body parts that we are monitoring who is questionable for this evening. It can definitely change the slate. I wanted to get to the most recent update as far as, yes, we got the 5 o'clock injury report. That's what I was looking for. We may see the arrival, the comeback of Joel Embiid. We haven't seen him in a bit. We haven't seen him since the All-Star break. He had that new injury with the shin and a knee. That is a 7 o'clock game, so we will know. It's also a game where I don't know if they necessarily need him. The Pacers on the other side, it's going to be a big old mess, and we'll wait and have a conversation about that soon enough. But assume Pascal Siakam is not going to play. They've given him multiple injuries. They're giving him a wrist right now. He's officially doubtful. Daniel Gafford's questionable, which I think is somewhat meaningful because that would catapult Marvin Bagley into our lives. Chet Holmgren's got a questionable tag. Other players out there that we're monitoring that are somewhat meaningful. We might see the arrival, I think we are, of Jonathan Kuminga. His first game with Atlanta, probably not going to play enough. DeJounte Murray also expected back. First game this season, back from his Achilles. I assume he's not going to play nearly enough to matter. So, just going to note the arrival of Murray is back for New Orleans. Congrats to him for making a comeback. And the Warriors are down to 10. We have 10 Warriors tonight. No Steph. Al Horford sitting in the front half of a back-to-back. They gave him a toe. I should mention that there's 6 teams. Well, Boston doesn't matter. I wrote down Boston. They're not in the slate, but they're on the front end for what it's worth. Cleveland on the front end. They play at Milwaukee tomorrow. Golden State plays at Memphis tomorrow. Milwaukee, OKC, and Toronto. So 5 teams on our slate are on the front end of a back-to-back. Nobody playing the back end. Did I even vocalize the clue, by the way? The clue was Wizard. I do see it scrolling. But today's clue for Television Tuesday is Wizard. And tell me what TV show I'm talking about in the Discord channel.
Wizard of Oz.
Well, that's not a TV show, Chop. And you could have just spoiled it for everybody.
I know. Well, that's why I took a guess on a movie, so I knew I wouldn't spoil it.
Well, you think that would have been? You think that was a good guess? You think if it was Wizard of Oz, you played this game enough, Chop? You know better.
That's why I guessed it, Dean. I didn't want to spoil it. That's why I made it such an obviously bad guess that wasn't the right one. I just wanted to kill time.
It is not Charmed or the Umbrella Academy or any Harry Potter.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I haven't seen that. I know people like it.
It's not bad. I mean, like everything, it slows down after a couple seasons, but it's not bad at all.
Merlin. It's not Merlin. Is that a TV show? I thought that was a movie, or a book, or maybe it's all those things. I'm not sure. But the answer is not Merlin. But guesses are coming on through in the Discord channel. Chop, you got anything? I always ask you this. You never really have an answer for me. You don't like big picture, but I like talking big picture before we fully dive in. How are you seeing tonight's slates? Big picture. Anything kind of jumping out to you that you think is worth noting?
Big picture, Dean. Big picture. Right before the show, there was a little bit of news. So big picture is for me. I think that the 49ers Super Bowl window has closed. That's my big picture.
What happened with San Fran? I don't know.
It doesn't look like it looks like maybe they're going to lose Trent Williams now. They don't want to pay him $34 million a year. That's their best lineman. He's a game changer. So if he ends up walking because they can't afford him, that'll alter who they are. So I think that window might be closed for San Fran. Oh, Dean, we glossed over. I haven't done a show with you since Sunday. What'd you think about the gold medal hockey game?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Jack Hughes, I'll tell you that pitcher, you know how like they're going to show in the Winter Olympics in 30 years and 40 years and 50 years, they have like the opening montage of like, all the great stuff that ever happened. That picture is forever in that reel, forever. Like that's like the perfect picture. And yeah, that was cool. That was a shout out to Sam Bennett for sticking him in the face and, knocking out some of his teeth. But yeah, and I'm happy that we're going to get hockey back soon too. That'll be fun. Hopefully this is like good momentum just for hockey in general. Because I feel like a lot of fringe hockey fans were probably watching 8:00 in the morning, depending on where what time zone you're in.
Yeah, let me throw one out there for you. Let me throw idea out there for you. And Tasteful Tides he's in chat, so you can.
And Hellebuck was awesome, by the way. Give him some credit.
Feel free to shoot this one down, but I kind of don't mind, Dean. You get to overtime in hockey. I kind of don't mind a 10-minute period where it's 5-on-5. If you can't decide anybody, give another 10 4-on-4, and then the last 10 3-on-3. That's all I'm saying, Dean.
It should never be 3-on-3 in the final game. That's ridiculous. It's like, I mean, you really can't avoid PKs in the World Cup just because exhaustion kicks in at some point. But 3-on-3 is ridiculous. It's an absurd way to decide who the winner is. It's fun. It's a lot of fun during the regular season where games don't matter as much. I love 3-on-3, 5 minutes and, out of 82 games. But there's a reason why in the playoffs they don't go to 3-on-3.
So what you're saying is the gold medal is tainted because of the gimmick. Gimmick. Huh.
The rules are the rules, but
interesting.
It's a dumb rule. It's stupid. And I saw they came out today and they said they're not changing it for what it's worth. I don't know if they just like it's a time thing. They just got to get out of there because it's like I think it's the last day of the Olympics and how long could they think it possibly goes? But it's a dumb rule. And I mean, if I was Canada, I'd probably be bummed about it. But we all know the rule. Yeah, and it probably favored Canada because they have the more skilled players. But it just didn't work out for them. But that's not the point. You shouldn't play the result. It's just I think it's a bad idea. But yeah, shout out to the U.S. Shout out Mike Eruzione. All right, let's do it. Let's dive in. Let's talk about it. First game. There's only one game at 7:00. Only one game at 7:00. It's Philadelphia at the Pacers. 233.5 is the total. Philadelphia is a 10-point favorite here. And it is pretty murky because it's the Pacers. And we know the Pacers are doing their best to lose going forward. We know the deal. Once they made the Zubats trade, they basically said we want a 52% chance of keeping our pick. They got to finish 1 through 4. Yeah. So Quentin Jackson, we don't know about the G League guys, right? Peter and Jackson. Oh, Peter Jackson. Yeah. So we don't know about Peter and Jackson because they're potentially going to be available, not available as far as how many days they have remaining. If they're going to convert him or not. We know Naismith is out. Potter is officially probable. Pascal, assume he is out. He is doubtful. Thompson also another one of those G League players that may or may not be available. I guess we'll know at some point. Philadelphia a little bit cleaner with the exception of Embiid. Embiid is questionable. We know Paul George's not available anytime soon. They keep putting Kelly Oubre on the injury report, but he's always available with his knee. And nothing else of note. If Embiid plays, does he get full minutes? He kind of needs full minutes. They're asking full price, but the matchup here is really, really good. And the Pacers, Chop, are just – it's hard to talk about them because one of these guys at least is going to go away, I imagine. Nembhard's questionable. We know Naismith's out. One of Peter, Jackson, Thompson probably goes away too. We'll see. Best we can do, though, what do you got as far as the Sixers and the Pacers?
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I mean, but not really though. Kind of like, right? I don't know. It's if Embiid plays, I'd be more leery of the blowout here. And if Embiid plays, I'd want to play him too. Though he's really dominant. He could be really dominant in this matchup. And if he plays, he takes a little bit of shine off of the other guys. But Maxey should still be able to do a lot of good things against this team. But again, I fear that if Embiid plays, this could be blowout city. So I don't know how that's going to play out. And it feels like, man, okay, I don't know what I didn't listen to your report there, but it feels like the Sixers have played a lot of. What is this, 3 and 4 for them? It feels like they've played a lot late. I feel like they played both the weekend games.
No, they didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, 3 and 4 though, right? Or something like it feels like they played Saturday, Sunday, but I might be mistaken, Dean. I was watching.
They don't play tomorrow. It's an island game, but I know if you go on lineup HQ, it'll tell you. Yeah, it is 3 and 4.
Yeah, so I'd be a little leery of Philly in a possible blowout and not as much juice in the legs, but we'll see. The Indiana's playing a bunch of scrubs now, respectfully. They're playing a bunch of guys and they're trying to lose and all that good stuff. There's, I don't know. They're still, at least they're trying, those particular players are trying. And some of them have some talent, like Jarris Walker. I'm a big Jarris Walker guy, University of Houston legend. He's gonna project well, and he's rightfully
Houston's
so.
in trouble, Chop.
What's up?
Houston's lost like 3 games in a row, right? What's up with the Cougars?
Well, Dean, what happened was, for the first time, like in a long time, the staff went for like a younger approach to try to get some more of these. Like 2 of these guys that they have on their team, true freshmen, are going to be. One of them is going to be a top 5 pick. The other one's probably going to be top 15 pick. So they went for those kind of players, but those kind of players that are young like that just don't match the system. And I think they're learning a lesson. And I think moving forward, you'll see them go back more towards the older, more experienced players as opposed to the true freshmen who are just dynamic players because they just don't fit the system. So it's, more than likely going to be a Sweet 16 and that's it year. And then you learn a lesson. So yeah. First time in let's see, what is this, 2020? First time in 9 years they've lost 3 in a row.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they learned a lesson, though. But Jarris Walker was once a true freshman for the University of Houston and played well and earned all conference honors. And he's playing well right now because this is what they're doing with this team on Indiana. So all you got to do is crack open those game logs and you'll see Jarris is getting a big piece of the pie these days. He's my favorite pacer, but he's probably the most owned guy in this game for a reason. And I think you could take a shot on some of these 4K guys like Potter and Jackson if you want to. But otherwise, it's not a lot in this. I don't have to have a bunch of – like if I'm running one lineup tonight and I'm hand building, I can skip over this game and give myself an extra 30 minutes. If I'm doing GPPs like I am, I'll probably have some mix of some guys in this game.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as far as potentially skipping this game. And Walker, he's 7-3 now on FanDuel. Like, is there still meat in that bone? That's so pricey. Now, he's probably the most reliable scorer, most reliable player on this team, like you said. We currently have 11, but I think a couple of these guys might go to bed. We'll see. We'll get news on it. You mentioned Jackson. There's no certainty he's even going to dress. We'll get news on that at some point, but we don't know. Again, Thompson is questionable. Peter is questionable. And Nemhard is questionable. I think Huff is kind of interesting. Center is weird tonight. It stinks. It kind of stinks for having eight games. It's like there's no really, really great center play. Embiid's certainly interesting, assuming he goes. You never really know with Huff's minutes, but there's a chance he plays like 27, 28. And if he plays that much, I think he's a really strong play. He's in the mix for tournaments for me. And I guess we'll know more information for Indiana as we close in on lock. Anything else as far as Pacers, Sixers, or shall we move along? Again, it's the only game at 7 o'clock. And right now, if nothing changes, I think it's a game you can skip if you're only running a couple lineups. But I also think things might change.
Moving on.
Mavs, Nets, 226.5. That's the total. The Nets are 1.5 point dogs here at home. So Musa Cisse is doubtful. We know Cooper Flagg's not playing. Daniel Gafford is like forever questionable. He's got that ankle. If he doesn't go, I think Marvin Bagley is just an awesome play. I think Marvin Bagley is kind of interesting right now. He's in the mix for me. Again, speaking to how center isn't great, and he should still play minutes around the mid-20s or so. Brooklyn is pretty healthy. And they're as healthy as they're going to be. The Nets, and I kind of don't like the Nets when they're healthy, and they tend to not push their guys too hard. Claxton is fine, but he is fully priced, and they are incentivized to lose. They haven't really been like full tank mode. The tank just kind of took care of itself, but this is 2 teams, Chop, that do want to lose. I hit the sim lottery button. I was on the tankathon, and Brooklyn won the lottery. No, right now it's Sacramento is currently, I got that one spot locked up by a couple games, despite winning yesterday. They won for the first time in like 17 games. So shout out to Sacramento. But yeah, Brooklyn and Dallas, Brooklyn's in the 3 spot, Dallas in the 7 spot. Both these teams certainly incentivized plenty to lose. How are we feeling about the Mavs and the Nets?
Interesting garbage game. Interesting garbage game is what I would say. So you get a lot of these this time of year in the NBA. Actually, it's a little bit early for the interesting garbage games, but we're getting them early this year. Yeah, two loser teams that don't necessarily want to win, so they're going to run some crazy combinations out there. Dallas, let me start off with Dallas. You're actually getting about 3 guys on this team that are going to be roughly 20% ownership on DraftKings, like Bagley, Middleton, and Washington. Middleton turned back the old clock on Sunday and had a big monster game, so I don't think I'm chasing that one. I'm definitely more likely to be way under the field on that one. I do like your Bagley call. Yeah, I like that one. PJ Washington's a little iffy for me, but somebody's going to score some points on both these teams. Like, they both got healthy enough team totals that they're going to score points. It's just going to be a matter of how we get there. So I think they're interesting for Brooklyn. I actually had just based on the way Dallas has played recently, whatever. I think Michael Porter Jr. and Nicholas Claxton are my favorite players on that side of the ball. We're going to get some run out of them. Porter's been awesome this year, and yeah, he's a good rebounder, and he can beat Dallas on the boards, and he's pretty well versed. We think of him as a 3-point shooter, but he does more than that too. He actually can put the ball on the floor and get around the paint area too. So I think Michael Porter Jr. is an awesome play, and I do like Claxton for those rebounds and things of that nature tonight. So I think he's fine, and that's kind of where I'm drawing the line.
It's just 8-6 for Porter, so expensive. But yeah, I don't disagree. He's fine. I do prefer him more in FanDuel, where he's 8-2. If you're going to pick one of the sites, he looks better there on FanDuel. Bagley projected for 24 minutes, and he's over a fantasy point per minute. So he looks pretty good. And he would look even better. Or if we happen to lose Gafford, Bagley would get 28 minutes, and the projection would jump to 32. 32 as a median, which, he would be a cash game staple if nothing else. Also, I think it would benefit if we happen to lose Gafford. I think it would benefit Claxton. Just Bagley not nearly the defender that Gafford is. Gafford fights for more rebounds. Bagley, one of the reasons why he barely gets no run is because he's horrendous defensively, which is why I think he's a great tank player, kind of like a Maxime Renault, where you could put up fantasy points, but you're also terrible on defense, so you're not necessarily helping your team win. So I think Bagley is perfect for that scenario where, you're out there, you're scoring points, but you're also, you're giving them right back. Currently, most popular player in this game on DK, PJ Washington 25%, Bagley 24%, Middleton 22%. It is a good price for Middleton. Like, I kind of agree with you. They're like old man, relatively speaking, basketball terms. They don't really want to push the veteran. Like, he should be fine, but are we actually going to get a big Middleton game or you absolutely need? Probably not. If I land on it, so be it, but it's not something I'm seeking out. Beyond that, Porter coming at 15%, Clowney at 10%. Claxton at 8 is pretty interesting, but they are asking for a full price at 6.5 on DK. But again, that matchup would get better, in my estimation, if we lose Gafford. Second clue for Television Tuesday. No winner just yet. Nobody banked it. Second clue, get your guesses in. The Discord channel, it's not Righteous Gemstones or The West Wing or Flintstones. Second clue is King. So Wizard and King. Those are our 2 clues of 5. We'll give more if necessary. I don't think they'll be necessary, though. You guys tell me.
Can you specify a little bit more, Dean? Are we talking about a TV show or a mini series?
It theoretically could be. It could be a mini series. Yeah, just a show. Yeah, it could be theoretically. Like you're saying, a show it's on for like 8 episodes, and that's that. It just comes and goes. That's a TV show. No.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you say so.
Yeah, I would say so. That would fall.
You think an 8-episode one-timer, not something that got canceled. They expected more, but something that was set out to be like just 6 to 8 episodes. You think
like the Queen's Gambit? Is that what you're getting at? Like
you think that's like you think that classified as a TV show?
Yeah. Well, if it's not a TV show, what is it?
Well, mini series. I don't know if that's, but okay. Just wanted to get a heads up because that might alter the way I'm looking at this.
All right, I'll see what your guesses are. Now I'm curious. In our private chat, guesses coming into the YouTube channel. Those are not official. Those don't count. Even if you get it right, doesn't matter. Thunder are taking on the Raptors. This is another 7:30 game, Chop. 215.5 is a total. That is not a very appealing total. Thunder are, 3-point dogs here in Toronto. They're on the front half of a back-to-back. And for Toronto, Jakob Poeltl is out. He's got that back. Otherwise, they're fully healthy. Anybody of note? OKC, questionable. Chet Holmgren, he's got a back also. Caruso has an ankle. The good Jalen Williams is out with his hamstring. AJ Mitchell, he's got a strain in his ankle as well. Did I say everything? I think I did. Yeah, Toronto, slight favorites here. To me, sort of signals that Chet's not going to play, but that's just kind of the way I'm seeing it. How you feel about Thunder Raptors in a game that doesn't really have a great environment, right? 215.5 is the total.
Yeah, in general, doesn't feel like a particularly interesting game, and the ownership is dictating that. Like, I don't think anybody in this game is going to be over 7 to 8% owned, so it's going to be low owned. OKC is just a weird kind of team right now, and I don't know how much exposure to that I want. There's a few guys that are okay, but nothing jumping out over there. Toronto's similar. Scotty Barnes is projecting well, but I don't know that I want to go that route. Along with some of these other guys. The one guy, Dean, I could stab at in GPPs, I feel like maybe I could take a shot at, is Emmanuel Quickly. And that's based on the fact that he's more or less their best three-point shooter. And as stated before on the show, Oklahoma City this year has actually been a big hole in their defense, is the three-point shooting defense. So if somebody can take advantage of it, maybe it's Quickly, and he's the one guy I would highlight in this game. But otherwise, I'm kind of on par with what everybody else thinks in projected ownership, which is not very much.
Yeah, it feels like I don't want to say a full-on pass, but it definitely feels like a pass ownership-wise. Nobody coming in very popular. Hartenstein, he's at 7% on DK. He's got a little bit better price on FanDuel as well. You can only roster one center, 8% coming in on FanDuel, 5.9. Wouldn't hurt him if Chet doesn't play. I know we have an if-then set up for it's a combination of Chet and Caruso. It's also the front end of a back-to-back. I don't know how much OKC cares, but, in theory, a good matchup or a good, East versus West Detroit tomorrow night. Again, the Thunder, do they care about this? Probably not. But they also probably rest. They're not going to play some of these guys both games. But really nobody coming on. Hartenstein's like a slight positive value on FanDuel if we lose Chet and Caruso. But really, I don't like a lot this game, Chop. I'm probably going to ignore it, and hopefully it does not go to double overtime. I don't know what Castle Rock is. What's Castle Rock? The answer is not Castle Rock, but what's Castle Rock?
I don't know.
Did you make that up?
No, it's a Stephen King miniseries. Stephen.
I'm aware of Stephen King. I'm aware of his work.
Miniseries, and that's why I was asking you about miniseries and would that count? And I don't know, because King, I was thinking Stephen King.
It's a good thought process.
So it's not Stephen King. Nothing to do with Stephen King. Okay,
I'm telling you, it's not Castle Rock.
No. Does it have anything to do with Stephen King? Is the question?
I don't think so.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's not an Emerald City either. I don't know.
By the way, Dean, have you seen? Speaking of shows, Castle Rock, have you seen the new Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
I have not. I wanted kind of some episodes to compile.
It's good. Well, it's over with now. Now they did the season.
What is there? 6 episodes?
Yeah, it's only like 6 episodes.
Oh.
Wow, it was really good, dude. I recommend it highly.
I'll get to it. Yeah,
if you're a Game of Thrones fan, definitely get to it.
Better than the House of the Dragon?
Oh man, infinitely. I couldn't watch the House of Dragon season 2.
Fair enough. By the way, Pacer stuff. Pascal officially rolled out. Nemhard in, McConnell in, Potter in, Cam Jones in. But I still want to see if we get clarity on the G League guys, because I don't think any of that stuff clarified. Thompson, Jackson, or Peter. But as of right now, nobody new ruled out for the Pacers. Not Arrested Development or the Kardashians or Miracle Workers or Lord of the Rings, which is a TV show. No, it's not a TV show. It's a movie. It's not Game of Thrones. But guests is coming on through in the Discord channel. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Be the first person to tell me what TV show I am talking about. Washington's at Atlanta. Atlanta's a big boy favorite here, 13-point favorite, 235.5 is the total. Atlanta's got one of the biggest team totals, if not the biggest team total on the board. I believe they do the biggest, right? 124 for the Hawks. Who's out for this one? Well, Sar is still out for Washington. Vucevic is available with his hand. They've been messing with his minutes, like they've been limiting his minutes. He's been playing too good sometimes. I know he's projecting pretty well, but I don't know what to do with him. I'm a little bit concerned. Atlanta is fully healthy. We may see the arrival. I think it's likely we get Kuminga tonight, making his debut for the Hawks. He's officially questionable. Jalen Johnson, one of the best big spends on the slate, if not the best, depending on. You tell me. We love the matchup here against Washington. Just bleed fantasy points.
They bleed them, Dean.
Yeah. So talk about the Hawks. How much are we prioritizing Atlanta?
I think you have to prioritize Atlanta here. The healthiest team total on the board. The matchup is fantastic all the way around. Yeah, Jalen Johnson's got to be, well, if anybody's privy to the survey in the morning, that's my favorite guy overall, man. Jalen Johnson, the best, like the highest floor you can have tonight of anybody on this slate, just based on the matchup and what he does and his usage lately. So love me some Jalen Johnson. Could get behind Nikhil Alexander-Walker also. I think that's a good play. Like several of these guys, definitely prioritizing some of those Atlanta players. On the flip side, Washington's, running some real weird stuff out there lately. I think for the price tag, I don't hate Alondas Williams. So that's kind of where I go. But otherwise, not a huge fan there. He's going to get some ownership, as will Vucevic. I don't know. Not as much into that, but he's all right. 5K is a little bit more, though. But I think Jalen Johnson, man, it's going to be tough to keep him out of the majority of my lineups.
We're giving Vucevic just 21 minutes, and he still projects well, right? So even though they're probably going to keep his minutes down, he left with a hand. They've basically tanked him out of a game previous. They should probably lose this game, right? So the minutes don't necessarily need to be suppressed. And again, if he gets to 21, which is all we're giving him, that's a pretty good. He'll probably not hurt you if he plays 21 minutes. I don't know what to do with him, though. I'm a little bit concerned. I don't know how I feel about Williams being chalky. We have him at 30%. I think that's bad chalk if that's where he holds. We're giving him 26 minutes. He'll play blowouts. We don't have a big sample on him, right? But so far he's been pretty good. Well, what's the scouting report on Alondas Williams, Chop? You remember this guy in college?
If he is the Wake Forest guy, which I need to look up real quick, then I do have a scouting report on him. If he's not the Wake Forest guy, yeah, he went to Wake Forest. Yeah, he's got some game. He's a good all around player. Yeah, he definitely wasn't a corner hugger in college.
Yeah.
I think he's good with the ball in his hands, making fantasy points, racking them up, rebounding, assists, playmaking, shooting. Definitely can score the ball. If we're talking about glorified G League in some of these games these days, and so he should be all right with that. I kind of like that. I like that for him. So I don't mind being on par with the field. It's a cheap enough price tag. If some other value opens up, that's one thing. But as of right now, there's for 8 games, there's not a ton of rule outs that have a bunch of guys high priority in the low dollar range. So I'm okay with Williams.
We only have 63 minutes or so. We don't have a big sample size on him. The usage is not great, but he's been really, really good as far as fantasy points per minute. I don't know how sustainable that is. I think he's got a wonky number when it comes to steals, if I'm not mistaken. It just seems a little bit kind of outlierish. He will mop if this game gets ugly. I don't know how I feel about him being a chalk play. And the Wizards, and I guess all he needs is 20 or so minutes, right? All these guys are playing. Well, let's see. Let's pull up our projected minutes for Washington. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10. I'm not sure if I counted that right. that have players that are projected between 20 and 26 minutes. It's just ridiculous. There's nobody you can trust to get run. Also, nobody's going to be expensive either. And now the prices have adjusted to their roles, but it's just really hard. And then they're in the developmental stage, right? They want to hit the sim button and get the next season and have Trae Young and Davis and some draft pick. That's all they care about.
Porzingis, yeah.
Porzingis.
Yeah. Didn't he play for Washington?
That's a couple teams ago, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. How many teams has Porzingis been on the last couple of years? It feels like he's bounced around a heck of a lot. Yeah. Anything else as far as Washington and Atlanta?
No, except for the question in chat by Lippy that says Dyson Daniels ?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, in GPPs, he's on board. Like if I'm playing one lineup and I'm trying to like really make that lineup good and safe high floor, he's probably not the guy. But in GPPs, yeah, if you're playing in like that $5 GPP with 150 entries, absolutely.
I think I'll play at least one Hawk in every lineup. If it's not Johnson, it's McCollum. If it's not McCollum, it's Daniels. If it's not Daniels, it's Nah. Like one of those four. I can see landing in every lineup I make. I don't make a ton. And also of notes, McCollum is 6.2 on FanDuel, which is a much better price than he is on DK. Now he's also coming in at 33%, which is a really big number for a guy that mostly just scores. Also, it's a revenge game, right? Is he angry? How does that? Is CJ McCollum? What's his feelings against Washington? I have no idea. Is this first blood? Might be first blood. I'm not certain. First time chop? I don't know.
I don't know. Who? McCollum?
Yeah. Also, Kispert. I'm being told it's a Kispert revenge game as well. That's right. You don't want to sleep on.
Well, it depends on what you mean by first blood.
First time since being traded.
Because he's been in the league for a long time. He's played Washington a lot.
No, it's since the trade off of Washington.
When did he get traded for Washington?
Wasn't that this season?
But when though? Because last game recorded against Washington was on January the 5th.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't thought this through. Just doing some fly.
Kind of don't think it matters with him.
Yeah.
But
he seems like a laid-back guy, McCollum.
And I think he's kind of whatever about it. He's over it. He's in a better place now.
Yeah. Third clue, Chop. Let's give the people clue number 3 as far as television Tuesday. Wizard King, the third clue. The third clue is buy. Buy is the third clue. Let me know in Discord.
You spell that, Dean, like a spelling bee.
That's important. It's important. B-U-Y. Yeah. It does scroll at the bottom.
B-U-Y. Oh,
yeah,
not like a bye week, but like best buy.
Like a bye week. Correct. Yeah, that is important to note. First half, I think it's the Peacock doubleheader tonight. It's one of the networks. The other one's not on our slate. I think the other one might be Golden State, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Phoenix, Boston. No, it's not Golden State. Doesn't matter. New York and Cleveland. This is a real game. This is a real basketball game with two teams that are really going to try to win. I know. And it's you don't find a lot of these days. New York taking on Cleveland, rivals here, 231.5 is a total. Cleveland is a 5-point favorite versus New York. As far as who's in and who's out for this one, well, Cleveland is really, really healthy. We haven't seen Max Strus all season long, so this is as healthy as they're going to be. They're playing the front of the back-to-back for what it's worth. New York, they're also very healthy. McBride's out. We have not seen him in a long time. So two teams that are good enough. Two teams that are trying. Two teams that are not tanking. But everybody's just sort of priced kind of where they should be. New York, Cleveland, what do you got?
Yeah, I would say that obviously the game of the night. I really like this game in general. I think there's a lot going on here. I think this could be a potential, depending on the seeding, second or even an Eastern Conference Finals type matchup here. I think this is really good, Dean. And the one thing that really makes me so there's a couple of things that I like that make me like this game a lot. And tonight on the slate is number one, nobody's going to gather an abundance of ownership. Everybody's relatively kept in check ownership-wise in this game. That's good. Number two, watching both these teams now as they are who they are, neither one of them are very good defensively. They're pretty bad, actually, and which is crazy because the Knicks went out and invested in these wings and paid all these draft picks and all these big contracts for their wing players who were supposed to be defensive specialists. And they kind of stink on defense, man, to be honest with you. So Cleveland's going to torch them. I like that aspect of it. And Cleveland has been pretty porous on defense under the Kenny Atkinson era. So he's more offensive minded. So the Knicks are going to torch them. So I really like Jalen Brunson to bounce back here after like multiple matchups recently with the Thompson brothers and some other tough matchups. I think Jalen Brunson really shows up here in this kind of a game. He should be able to have a pretty good success rate against, either Mitchell or Harden, whoever's on him. Josh Hart can always fill a stat sheet in games like this. Karl Anthony Towns a little rough around the edges because he can get into foul trouble and stuff like that, or he can get pulled out of the game. But I think they kind of maybe need his size tonight with the Twin Towers in Cleveland. So I think they're all in play. And then on the Cleveland side, I really like the mix of Mitchell and Harden in the same lineup, not DFS-wise, but in real life. I kind of like the way that plays out. I think this is going to be an offensive force moving forward. So I think in a game like this, competitive through 4 quarters, Harden's in play for a triple-double. Mitchell is in play for a big scoring night. And the bigs are in play here for Cleveland. I think this is a really good all-around game, Dean. And I'm going to try to get some of these players in my lineups. Mute, brother, mute.
You were talking about the ownership stuff being held in check. Confirm that on DK. Towns, Harden, Brunson, Mitchell, the 4 studs in this game. We currently have them projected between 9 and 12%. Just, they're all fine. They're sort of their asking price is what it is. Of notes on FanDuel, Harden a little bit cheaper than he is on DK, so 22%. He's pretty popular over there in FanDuel. OG Anunoby coming in at 15%, Brunson at 11%. Nobody else in double figures, but this is the classic, right? Should be better to watch than it is the roster for DFS. But of course, we do have the certainty, air quotes, of teams trying, of playing their best players, best effort, all that kind of stuff. So that's got to be worth something because these teams, again, they're trying to win. They're going to be trying to win, and they're going to be playing, I figure, their max minutes. Cleveland on the front end. I don't think New York is. I have this. Yeah, so just Cleveland. Cleveland playing Milwaukee tomorrow. New York is on an island game. But, yeah, nothing really standing out from this game. But certainly I have no issue, like you said. I have no issue playing Mitchell or Harden. If I get the cat, so be it. I probably won't, but I'm not going to besmirch. Same deal with Brunson. But I'm not really isolating this game as something that I'm focusing on. What I am focusing on is Television Tuesday. And the answer is not A Night of Seven Kingdoms or It's Welcome to Derry. Did you watch that, Chop? I didn't watch that. Was that good? I know it was on the HBO.
I did not see that.
It's not Breaking Bad or Pawn Stars or Wheel of Fortune or Charmed or Robin Hood, which is a movie. It might be a TV show. I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. Or Industry. It is not signed.
Industry's good.
I haven't watched that either.
Oh,
I know it's an HBO show. One of these days I'll go take a bit of shot. It's not Euphoria, speaking of HBO shows, or Eastbound and Down. HBO shows are very popular in the Discord as far as the guesses. But the fourth clue might change things, Chop. Maybe. We'll see. The fourth clue is Jazz. Wizard, King, by Jazz. That is our 4 clues. Tell me what TV show I'm talking about. You get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Not just basketball. It's all the bells, all the whistles, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, PGA, NHL, WNBA, if and when. That's a thing. It's not just yet. Golf is in the full swing. Should mention, you do not get NASCAR. However, you can get yourself some NASCAR projections because projections are now live for the 2026 season, including projections from RotoDoc, Stevie TPFL. You'll get access to articles and videos, the RotoGrinders breaking down every race. Lineup HQ, the optimizer, it's going to come preloaded with player and ownership projections for trucks, NOAPS, and the Cup Series. Additionally, you also get access to Stevie's betting picks, as well as exclusive access to the NASCAR channel in the RotoGrinders Discord. Okay, next game. This is a DFS game, Chop. It's 8 o'clock, right? We have 3 8 o'clock games, 3 games to go. Golden State at New Orleans, 227.5 is the total. Golden State is slightly favored here, despite missing a pile of players. Who's in, who's out for the Warriors? Well, I'll tell you. Jimmy Butler. We knew that, but I saw his name in the injury report. I figured it'd be worth mentioning it. Butler's out. All the Currys are out. That's Seth and Steph. Draymond Green officially in with his back. He's probable. I should not say officially in. Horford is out. He's got a toe, so he cannot play basketball. It's also the front half of a back-to-back for the Warriors. You mentioned Porzingis. Porzingis, you're not going to believe this, Chop. He's actually on the Golden State Warriors. He's not playing tonight. He's ill once again. D'Anthony Melton is available with his knee. New Orleans, Yves Missy's out. He's got a calf. Trey Murphy's out with that shoulder. That's a big deal. We're going to see the arrival, the season debut of DeJounte Murray. He's available with his Achilles. Yeah, so the Warriors, I think it's 10 or 11. It's 10. 10 Warriors. Spencer, Melton, Moody, Keith Santos, Draymond, Pods, Richard, Peyton, Post, and Leons. He's the 10th guy. Talking about the Warriors and the Pels, Chop.
Yeah, seems like a pretty decent game for fantasy. I mean, I don't love it. I don't love the names that are popping up, but okay. Sadiq Bey and Derek Queen are fine. They're going to project okay. Zion Williamson's the only guy that really projects like off the charts for New Orleans, and he's okay. But Bey and Queen are fine. Zion is solid. I don't know. They are what they are. Golden State, I think there's more guys on Golden State. I highlight a lot more, and the ownership's a little bit spread out there. Like Podziemski is going to be the most chalkiest player, and I think I can fade that for the most part. Be underweight on the field on that one. I don't have to have that guy. Guy Santos is okay. He's cheaper and a little bit less owned. I think he's going to be, and he's all right. Pat Spencer, solid, decent, cheap enough. I think you can go that route. And the one guy that I kind of like just matchup based is Moses Moody. So maybe that's the way it goes. But I don't know. It's a bunch of bad names here, bad players more or less. But yeah, obviously in fantasy, somebody's going to get there. It's tough to pinpoint this kind of game right here. I don't know.
You're a Pods hater, Chop. You've admitted it. You don't like Pods. He's projecting really, really well.
Why would you?
He's coming in at 34%, 32 minutes, and that's with we're expecting him not to come off the bench. I mean, not to start. Most likely to come off the bench. Santos are giving 30 minutes. Moody are giving 30 minutes. Those guys are projecting the best. Pods 34%. Guy Santos 31. I should mention Santos on FanDuel is distinctly more expensive, tougher to roster. 6'3" over there. Not sure if there's meat in that bone. And I'm not a hater of Draymond's. I'm a hater of rostering Draymond's. I don't like playing Draymond when he's chalk. And like, how much more does he do when everybody's out? His role is still kind of his role. I think Draymond's bad chalk. I'm curious to get your thoughts on that. Like, he's not a guy that's all of a sudden going to like step up and just do everything in the absence. His role just kind of is what it is. He's not going to score a bunch of points, obviously. Sometimes he gets there with the, stocks and assists, but that's few and far between these days. How you feeling about Draymond as a chalk piece? Because I don't love it. And I should also mention, especially chalk on FanDuel, where he's 5'1". 5'1" on FanDuel, 5'5" on DK. He's the guy that I don't think I'm going to get to. I'm not saying I won't, but I don't want to. If he's on my team, just know I'm not happy about it.
Hold on, Dean.
What's going on?
I'm going to give you a guess. I'm just going to give you a guess.
It is not King of the Hill. It is not Inside the NBA. Somebody guessed Inside the NBA as well.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of similar thinking. It's not Big Love or Penny Dreadful or Bel Air or Point Break, which is a movie. It's not Treme, which is a really good guess. It's not Treme though. But yeah, I thought we have a winner by now. But we'll see. It'll all make sense. I promise you.
I know what I'm seeing, Dean. I know what I'm seeing in the clues. It's just a matter of narrowing it down the choice to guess. I know what the clue. I see the pattern in the clues, though. That's for sure. I see the pattern. All right, Draymond. Yeah, I'm not a big not a big fan of Draymond these days in regular season games when there's nothing really on the line, and now he doesn't have a supporting cast of characters around him that usually elevate him. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Draymond. You count me as a guy who wants to be way underweight on that.
Yeah, but I also feel like you're supposed to play a warrior in every team. Like somebody's just kind of got to get there, right? You know, they're going to score 110, 115, maybe 120. They should score at least 100, even if things are going bad. Their team total is 114. They're actually favored to win this game, which is kind of surprising. Has that changed? I'm looking at our lineups page. Our lineups page says, if I'm doing the math correctly, a 114.5 team total for Golden State and a 113 team total for New Orleans. So that's telling me that New Orleans is a 1.5 point dog. And there's everybody's cheap on the Warriors, right? And everybody's going to get some run. Just a matter of who gets the extra 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, who closes, that kind of thing. I think Santos is a pretty good play here, Chop. Did you power rank your? I know you gave a rundown. Can you give me your top 2 favorite Warriors?
Gee and Moody, followed by Spencer.
Producer Steve's telling me that Mobley's on a minutes restriction. That's interesting because they play tomorrow, and they could just like play him standard and rest him tomorrow versus Milwaukee. But okay, I don't know what his minutes restriction is. I wasn't really thinking about Mobley anyway. What has he played since coming back? 25 last time out, and then 19. Yeah, like maybe he jumps to like 28, 27. Like you're not playing Mobley is the point. He's 8K on DK. And by the way, Embiid, no update with him. Just he's still questionable. Kuminga officially in and available tonight. Okay, still waiting on some more news coming on through. How about the Pels? How do we feel about New Orleans? DeJounte Murray coming back tonight. We're not giving him a ton of minutes, right? Giving around 15 or 20 or so, I'd imagine. We're giving him 20. We're giving him 20, and they're asking 6-1. Can't play him. How much does that muck up other stuff? Like somebody like Poole. Speaking of revenge, legit vengeful, right? I would imagine. I would think so. But, his minutes, he's down to 4-3, but the minutes going to be taking a hit with Murray being back. Fears, we're giving him 25. Zion, 33. Zion minutes look pretty good to me at 7-7. I don't mind that at all. I think it's a pretty solid play. And Queen is always one of the more volatile players, but certainly can have big scores, but the floor can be rough depending on how are you feeling about New Orleans.
Yeah, I mean, it's Sadiq Bey, Derek Queen, probably the most highly owned guys and probably the best value guys on the team. Zion's going to project well. I like Zion over the field, but it's all a bunch of weird stuff going on here with these two teams. So I don't know. I play some of it. I'll sprinkle it in GPPs, but I'm certainly not in love with either side of this game.
You have a favorite play in New Orleans? It sounds like Zion was your favorite, or maybe Bey?
Well, no, it's not Bey because the ownership's too high. Probably Zion because the ownership's lower than those first two guys. And, he's projecting the best as far as raw points. Salary's not that bad. And he has lower ownership than Bey and Queen. So, yeah, I think Zion would be my favorite guy in this game. But with that being said, don't feel like I want to go overboard on it.
Just running some optimal stuff. I want to see what kind of lineups I'm getting right now. Most popular player, nobody hitting my threshold, which is kind of interesting. Kind of your point you're talking about earlier, Chop. There's no clear and obvious value play that's like a 7x, 8x kind of player. The most popular player that I have on the stuff that I'm running now, I add a little bit of variance, things of that sort. Guy Santos is the most popular player on my DK lineups. And Maxey is the most popular big spend, which is a little bit surprising. I'm fine with Maxey, but if he doesn't, I don't know if I'm going to play him on my main team. It's also the first game out the gate. But sure, Maxey is perfectly fine. Moody is coming in at 32%, Bagley 31%. So he's already looking pretty good and could get better. On FanDuel, that was DK on FanDuel. Hitting my threshold is Moses Moody at 71%. McCollum also hitting it, or close to it, at 69%. And Draymond at 58%, which I do not like. Do not like that. But, he should be fine. It just, yeah. It feels like it's kind of over for Draymond. And it probably would have traded him if there was some kind of trade that was out there, but I don't know who was trading for Draymond during the All-Star break or whatever that was. Okay, let's drop a fifth clue. Let's give the fifth and final clue, more if necessary. Fifth clue chop for Television Tuesday. We made it to clue number 5. Wizard, King, Buy, Jazz. Clue number 5 is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Wizard, King, Buy, Jazz. Entrepreneur is your fifth clue. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. I should also mention PickLabs. PickLabs, the newest RotoGrinders feature. Lets you scan the best player prop and pick 'em bets in just seconds. Everything is broken down for you, from edges to win rates to value. It is a clean looking board which plays. It'll show the plays that actually stand out across sports books, not just sports books, but also sites like Prize Picks and Underdog. When you see something you like, Prize Picks, PickLabs is going to go ahead and build the slip right for you, straight to the book. Get information, more information, check it out, rotogrinders.com/PickLabs, rotogrinders.com/PickLabs. Chopper, are you using the PickLabs? I know in Texas your options are somewhat limited, right? You don't have any sports books, but you got
all the player props. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I use all that. I use all the tools that I can get my hands on for player props for sure. Especially like it during NFL and college football season. NBA can be a little bit rough. Everything's projected so tight in the NBA, man. There's not really a whole lot, the edges are very minimal, but you can certainly use it in all those things. And so, love me some PickLabs. Love any tool like that I can build while I'm seeing all the numbers in front of me, not have to dig around for them. And then on Prize Picks, it puts it in for you. So that's a bonus right there.
We did have a winner, Chop. We got a winner in clue number 5 in the Discord channel for today's Television Tuesday. Shout out to Rob140 taking it down with clue number 5. We'll tell you about the clues. We'll tell you how we got there later on. Feel free to submit, Chop. I know you don't like it when somebody beats you to it, but feel free to submit your guess into the Discord channel. Any more news coming out? It's pretty quiet. Yeah, no news. Okay, we can move along. The 2 other 8 o'clock games. Next one up, it's my Heat. My Heat are in Milwaukee. 228.5 is the total. Miami's a 6-point favorite here versus the Bucks. Tyler Hero officially available. The Heat just lists everybody available. So Hero's available. He's been playing through that rib. Pelly Larson available. Davion Mitchell, he's good to go with his illness. He's in. Wiggins available. Everybody's available with the exceptions of Jovic. There you go. That's another way of doing that. Jovic has he's got a back. Yeah, Jovic is a back, so he's not playing basketball tonight. No Giannis Antetokounmpo, no Taurean Prince, no Alex Antetokounmpo. Thanasis is available for what it's worth. And you got one of the 3 available for the Antetokounmpos. The Heat play fast. They take on the Bucks tonight. How are we feeling about Miami and Milwaukee?
Feeling lukewarm, Dean, about the Milwaukee and Miami game. So Miami, I just don't really feel like anybody's jumping off to. I don't think there's anybody in this game over 5% ownership for Miami. And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, you can take some stabs at some of these guys, but nobody's been off the charts lately. It's been very, very mundane production from these guys. So, if you want to spend $8,800 on Bam, go for it. I don't know that he's worth it. And Miami doesn't do it for me. Milwaukee, I have a little bit more interest in at least one guy from Milwaukee. That's Kevin Porter Jr. He's going to get the most ownership of anybody in this game, but I think it's rightfully so. He's been off the charts, man. Fantasy-wise. He's been really good fantasy-wise. It's a good matchup for him. Miami has a lot of good quality. Their defense is efficient. Let's say it like that. Their defense is efficiently good, but they still play at such a pace that you can rack up some volume stats against them. I think that's Kevin Porter Jr.'s game is volume. He actually leads the team in steals. Miami with the pace will give up a lot of steals. It's just the nature of playing up and down the tempo like that. He is a solid rebounder for a guard. You can rebound on the Miami guards. And of course, his offense is pretty solid. He's a chucker. So, yeah, Kevin Porter Jr. is my guy in this game that I like the most, and his projection is up there. And so, Cam Thomas is the crazy thing about Cam Thomas is they got him for free, right? Basically.
Yeah.
And when Giannis is playing, and I don't even, it might be too late and beyond repair, but when Giannis plays, the one thing Milwaukee really needed was that guy to come in for 15 or 20 minutes at some point and just try to get hot from off the offensive standpoint and help him out. And Cam Thomas is that guy. Cam Thomas can be that guy. He can lose you games, but he can win some games for you too. I think it's too little too late as far as roster construction for them, but I think he's a solid addition. He's going to throw up some shots, and it's a volume game, so I think he's in play too. But Kevin Porter Jr. is the one guy that stands out for me. He's just been really good, and I think this is a pretty solid matchup for him.
So I 100% agree. Kevin Porter Jr. probably going to be in my main lineup. He's probably someone I'm building around tonight. Love the matchup versus Miami. To your point about the roster for Milwaukee, it is to be hilarious. It is the worst sales pitch to keep Giannis. Like, we're going to surround you with, I don't know, 3 of the 15 players you do not want as your teammates: Bobby Portis, Kevin Porter Jr., Cam Thomas. It seems like terrible players to play with. I do agree Cam Thomas can get hot and like get you back into a game, but he gets, like you said, he can shoot you out of a game pretty quickly as well. But these are just, I haven't played in the NBA, Chop, but I would imagine these are guys I would not want to play with. I don't want to play with these guys. Especially if I'm Giannis. These are not the guys I want. And Kyle Kuzma, like, it's a horrendous lineup. Just but who are the 5 players you don't want to play with? Let's put them all on the same team. Basically, that was Milwaukee's GM. That was their discussion. They kind of figured out how to get the worst players, the worst teammates, all on one team. But we don't care about that. We care about DFS. We care about fantasy points. And for fantasy points, Kevin Porter Jr. is pretty awesome. In Miami, when they're fully healthy, it's just tough to get there. I don't think I'm playing anybody in Miami. We're still just giving 26 minutes to Tyler Hero. If there's a chance he gets bumped up to 30 out of nowhere, certainly he's in play. But it's hard to get excited about anybody in Miami. I should mention Kevin Porter Jr. on DK, awesome play. He's 7-8 on FanDuel.
He's a great GPP play on FanDuel.
You can certainly play him in tournaments, absolutely, but he's 9-4.
Yeah,
which is that's a huge number. That is a big difference.
The Rockets need Kevin Porter Jr. back. They need Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, back. You think? I don't know. I feel like he would try to do too much on that team. They don't need somebody to do too much. They just need a guy who can dribble. If Punch the Monkey could dribble, I would take him as the Rockets point guard. Is that a reference? I don't know what you're saying.
You don't know who Punch the Monkey is?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're missing, sir.
Is this something I want to Google? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Only if you're prepared to cry.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I guess I'll look it up after the show. I'm not sure. The people in chat are talking about it, and I don't think I'm aware of what that is, but okay. I'll give it a look at. I'll give it a look post show. Anything else you want to say as far as Milwaukee and Miami?
I think we've covered that enough.
Okay. Chat really reacted to that, though, so I guess I'm missing out possibly. I'm not sure.
It's the most incredible, heartbreaking, yet heartwarming story you'll read this week, Dean.
Really? Okay. It just somehow missed me. It was not on my radar for whatever reason. What is on my radar is the Hornets. The Hornets and the Bulls. 231.5 is the total. Hornets are 9-point favorites in Chicago. Who's in? Who's out for this affair? Well, Chicago. Zach Collins is done for the year. They shut him down because he's got a toe. No Jaden Ivey. No Anthony Simons. So they're a lot thinner on guards. Jalen Smith. Sticks is out. That's important for Charlotte. They, Kalkbrenner got hurt last game. Did not come back. They said he was ready to come back, but it was like a 20-point game, so they just didn't bring him back. But he was supposedly fine with his ankle. We're assuming he's good to go today. Diabate is back from his suspension, by the way. Bridges is back from his suspension as well after their kerfuffle with Detroit. Oh, Kobe White's also available. He's available to play for Charlotte. Oh, it's a revenge game for Kobe White. Look at that. Didn't know that. Just got to hit me. Shout out to Kobe White. Getting all his revenge. This is legitimately first blood, Chop. We don't have to look this one up. This is definitely first blood, but how much run will he actually get? Hornets and Bulls. I'm kind of interested in some of the cheap Bulls here. Yabusele, and maybe Richards. Revenge game Nick Richards. Talking about the Bulls and the Hornets.
Yeah, there's some cheaper guys in play, that's for sure. I certainly wouldn't go spend up any money on Chicago, but cheaper guys. Nick Richards. I actually like Colin Sexton the best. I think his ownership is going to be a little bit less than Nick Richards, and I think he matches up pretty decent in this matchup. So I like Colin Sexton a little bit more than anybody else. I don't know. Yeah, there's just cheap guys. Take your pick. You can go Dillingham or any of those guys. They're fine. But I like Colin Sexton a little bit. Just a little bit, though. The Charlotte side, I think there is a couple of guys there. They're still trying to win. They're still trying to compete. So there's a couple guys I like the matchup in general. That's Miles Bridges, and he's got a pretty decent price tag. So Miles Bridges is on my radar, and so is Con Knipple. Is he the best three-point shooter in the league? I don't know, but like just total stats-wise, he's up there. He's a damn good three-point shooter, and this is the matchup that you take advantage of that. I believe Chicago. Don't quote me if I can't, but I think they give up the highest percent from the three-point range, meaning, I think they give up a pretty high percentage from three-point range, and that's Con Knipple's game. So I do like the matchup-based stuff for him. So I'm on that. I'm on Knipple and the Miles Bridges train. Colin Sexton as a cheap run back if you want to. I think there's some pieces to this game that are all right. Just needs to stay competitive and close. And Charlotte's been really good. Maybe they blow them out here, but I like this. I like some of those pieces.
Chicago gives up the eighth most made threes per game. I don't have attempts in front of me. I guess I can find that as well, but it is a positive matchup. Kennard leads the league this year, 49.1% three-pointers made.
Wow.
Sam Merrill, 47%.
Wow.
Jalen Tyson, 46%. And Bobby Portis is 44. That is not
49%. That's boys. How many attempts is that? That can't be that many though.
5.3 per game looks like.
Golly.
2.9 made. Wait, no, I'm sorry. No. I was reading just 3.2 threes attempted per game, 1.6 made. So yeah, it's not like he's cheating the number necessarily. He's firing up three and making up 1.5 of them. And Hachimura is at 44%. Another guy I would not have expected. Historically, not someone I think of as a great shooter. Portis at 44%. Tari Eason, by the way, 43.6%. Your boy Tari in Houston. Knipple, by the way, 43.5. So
he's probably got the most volume though out of all those guys.
Yes. Merrill at 7.3 per game, 47%. Knipple 8 per game at 43.5%. So yeah, and just a rookie. Yeah, it looks like Charlotte found a good one. Looks like they hit on somebody that's going to get them there going forward. You mentioned Sexton revenge game. There's a lot of revenge going on in this game. Very vengeful. How do we feel about Yabusele? You think he's an interesting play?
Interesting. Yeah, back-to-back 30-point games, 30-plus point games. It's a fair matchup, not a great matchup. He's fine. He's under 5K on DraftKings. Yeah, it's all right, Dean. Like, my perspective tonight is not trying to build one lineup which would narrow. Like, I'd be crossing guys off the list right and left and just trying to narrow that pool. My perspective tonight is 50 lineups in large field GPPs. A lot of these guys are going to stay in play for me. I'll still narrow the pool down, but a lot of these guys, like Yabusele, will still be in play for me. So, yeah, he's in play for GPPs.
We still have nobody projected for 6X on DK. Nick Richards is the most popular guy. Not the most popular. He's the one with the biggest number. Closest to 6X, 5.78. Of course, it's easier to get the 6X when you are down to 3.9K. So we're currently projecting he's center and center only, 23 minutes, 22.5 as a median projection. I think he's center and center only on FanDuel as well. Okay, so this is of note. Our projection team just kicked out Ethan Thompson and Peter for Indianapolis. So I was talking before about the G League guys that may or may not play. I think they're down to 9 players now, if that's official. I've not seen that come through. If they took Thompson out of the projections, I assume that means they're not dressing. So the Pacers, as much as you want to avoid them, much as I want to avoid them, I think Quentin Jackson, if he's like the last one standing of that group, could be kind of interesting. I don't know how much they're going to push them hard. We'll see. Cam Jones probably projects pretty well. Curious to see what our projections do. But if you take those 2 guys out, I think that's meaningful, Chop. What's your thought on that?
Well, Dean, you have to tell me those names again because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so looks like Ethan Thompson was kicked out of projections. He's one of the G League guys that they're probably not going to dress. And
Oregon State legend, Ethan Thompson.
Oregon State. Okay, I'll take your word on it. And Peter was just kicked out as well. So I think are we down to 10? Is it 10? I think it's 9, assuming this is correct. Does that change things for you for the Pacers? Kobe Brown should get some run?
No. No, okay. That doesn't change anything. Jarris Walker, Jarris was my guy, remains my guy. I don't like.
He's not getting more minutes though, right? He's still going to get like 33, 34.
He was my guy. That doesn't change. And like the other guys, it doesn't move the needle for me very much. No, I don't know. Like it's hard, Dean, to sit here and trust these teams like the Pacers too much. I can't invest too much into them. So that kind of stuff doesn't move the needle for me. They'll just find a way to bleed it into other people and not be a big deal at all. I don't think for any one particular player.
Micah Potter just jumped Nick Richards as far as point per dollar.
Harry's brother.
Is that Harry's? Is it? I always thought that. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
I believe so. Yeah.
I always saw a resemblance. He's the most popular guy. Not most popular. I don't know why I keep phrasing it that way. He's the best point per dollar play currently. We're giving him 26 minutes at 4.2K. You can't play him at power forward, which is useful. 24-ish fantasy points as a median score at 4.2K. Chat's asking if it helps Huff. It doesn't hurt Huff. There's less guys around to kind of screw you over. Huff's a big dude. I imagine they'll want to have him out there for a fair bit.
Huff the Magic Dragon.
Is Huff still leading the league in blocks per minute or whatever? Is that still?
I think Huff leads the league in back hair.
Who's second? If it's not, if Huff were to retire,
it might be your boy Yabusele.
Huff has got those hairy shoulders, right? Is that what you're referencing?
There you go. Speaking of punch, the orangutan, Huff got the orangutan shoulders.
By the way, I did give it a Google. I meet Punch, the baby monkey that went viral. I guess Punch was lonely and wanted a friend in a Japanese zoo. I've not seen anything about this, but I'm looking forward to reading about this.
No. Punch was separated from his mother. Okay? Oh. Separated from his mother. And so they gave him this stuffed orangutan. And he like treats it like it's his mom, and he's hugging it and all that. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. And the other monkeys at the zoo were like outcasting him and stuff. But he just finally made some friends this weekend, so he's on the right track.
They were shaming him because he had a toy?
Because he didn't have a family. He was all by himself with this stuffed orangutan, man. It's crazy.
Okay. But it's a happy ending, I'm hearing?
He made some friends, it sounds like.
Chat's saying, the mother abandoned Punch, according to Steve, according to our chat. By the way, before we get to crunch time, do you want clarity as far as today's Television Tuesday? Did you get the answer? I don't think you did. I
would love some clarity on this one right here because I have some ideas floating around in my head.
So our clues were Wizard, King, Buy, Jazz, and Entrepreneur. 3 of these clues are essentially telling you the same thing. If you say Wizard, King, Jazz. What are those three things individually and in total? Wizard, King, Jazz.
NBA teams.
Okay, what do they all have in common?
Well, they're singular, and I mean, I have one thing I know they have in common, but I don't think that was
What's the one thing they have in common? These three things. What is their goal going forward?
tank.
Buy, entrepreneur.
Oh no! Oh, Shark Tank.
It's Shark Tank. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you where my mind was at, Dean. Look at this. This is crazy. Watch these clues. Wizard, singular. King, singular. Jazz, obviously. Buy. I had buy in my head. I'm thinking buy equals buck, singular. Another NBA team. 4 NBA teams. And George Hill played for those 4 NBA teams. That's why my guess was king of that's why my guess was king of the hill, but I was wrong.
Hold on a second. Buy is the singular version of buck?
No, buy. I was thinking he's trying to throw us off here. Buy. That buy means buck.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
you're going to come back and say buy. What do you buy with? You buy with a buck, $1.
You can buy it something with something's cost more than a buck.
I know, Dean, but that your point. The point of the clues sometimes is for you to be weird like that.
Fair
buck.
enough.
Singular, so 4 NBA teams. George Hill was the link to all 4 of them. But I was wrong. I was off on that one.
Shout out once again to Rob140 in the Discord channel, taking down today's Television Tuesday, getting a week free of RG Premium. Crunch time is knocking on the door. Before we welcome them, Chop, we want to know, who is your plum play? Who are you feeling in the plums tonight?
Yeah, I'm not going crazy off the radar here. Going with a guy I think is a little bit lesser owned, but he's got some salary to him. But this is just how we got to play on an 8-game slate. We got to find raw points here. We got to find some good raw points. I love this matchup, Dean. I love this game in general. I think Jalen Brunson's going to have a monster game on that backcourt of Cleveland. So I'm going Jalen Brunson to drop a big one.
I'm going to go with Kevin Porter Jr., and I think that both of us kind of feel him in the plums as well. So KPJ is my guy. All right, let's do it. Seamlessly segue. It's crunch time. We have Kirkwood, Kirkdiese. We got the Chief as well. Crunch time right now. We got Kirkwood. Will, it's been too long. What's up, Will? How are things?
I'm good, man. How are you guys? Chop, Dean.
Look at that, the dynamic duo, Kirky and Will. The dynamic duo.
Hey, Jug Nation. I thought we were going to have some graphics.
Nation rise up.
I thought we were going to have some graphics in it, man. Our producers, there we go. There we go. Give me the graphics, man. Welcome back. This is going to be a great show.
Yeah, you guys got a lot to sort through. Some Pacers news coming on through. I think we got most of it, but going to get clarity as far as who's officially dressing, who's not dressing. Yeah, not going to beg or grovel, but on our way out, we do want to have hit that like button. You're not going anywhere. You got 40 minutes of Kirkwood. You got 40 minutes of Will, but hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when we go live. But unless you got anything else, Chop, there's a lot for these guys to dig through as far as the 8-gamer. I'll be good to go.
Yeah,
we speak along.
We'll let them get to work.
That was Chop. I was Dean. Will, it's all yours.
Holler. Kirk, what's up? It's we got a dynamic duo, man. I haven't done a show with you in a while, but I'm pretty excited to come on and hang out with one of them.
Pump it up.
Let's go. Exactly, right? Like, I'm going to have to bring that back, Kirk. I think we got another show this week. I won't tell the people when. We're going to bring that back. That's going to have to be our intro music.
All right.
Big slate, but also not so big, Kirk. A whole lot of injury news. I don't know why NBA teams are treating February like freaking May, but here we are. A lot of guys out, but still some good plays on the board. I will borrow a phrase from one of the guys that inspired me when I was a lot younger DFS player, and that's JM to win. Everybody still knows him, I think. And one of his famous quotes, man, I will lead in with is the best way to be contrarian is to think for yourself. So obviously we're going to give you our takes, and some of our takes may not always line up with the industry, but it's not our job to line up with the industry, Kirk. It's our job to try to help you win a GPP or crush your cash games if you're doing that right now. So just top down, Kirkdiese, what are your thoughts about the slate in general? A lot of injuries, but in my opinion, still a lot of good plays out there.
Yeah. So, and hold on, I'm just uploading a new thing of projections here. But, Yeah. So as far as like injury news, the good thing about this slate is we kind of got. I don't. There's not any like really big news except we don't have Embiid yet, right? Is that the one we're waiting on?
Waiting on Embiid and a little bit of Indiana, I think, but nothing crazy.
But you know what? Like they've had so many guys in, like, and they're tanking, and it's just a god mess that I don't think like we're gonna need to focus in on the Pacers as much. I don't think they shape this. I think there's fine plays everywhere. There are some good plays in there, but it's also like buyer beware right now with any of these tanking teams, like both ways, right? Like yesterday was a perfect example for the Kings, Sacramento Kings, who have buried me trying to like predict minutes and stuff because with their tanking, and then they ran out basically Westbrook and Monk with full minutes like yesterday when people weren't even expecting, weren't even sure if they'd be DNPing. So you got to be ready from both angles. And Westbrook had a good game.
And Precious had a dumb, stupid game too. I mean, I had some Precious, don't get me wrong, but another guy that just rolled it up on us.
Yep. So there's landmines everywhere at this point in the season, but there's also, you can feel pretty comfortable when there's like big games like yesterday, like when the Spurs were playing the Pistons. We knew it was going to be Cade and Wemby show. We knew this was going to be a full goal. You know, these are two teams battling for top playoff positions. So it's always nice to get your studs from there, like where in a game you can feel confident and then just load up with value in other places. But I don't think this slate is pretty manageable, I think, for an 8-gamer.
Yeah, same here. Let's hop right in, man. I'm going to start on the DraftKings side. I'll give my brief thoughts. I'm going to try to just manage like basic cash game stuff, Kirkdiese. So just kind of I'll try to just give them the guys that I think they probably should be playing. And that won't be at every position. But mainly we're going to hammer this tournament thing all the way home. Point guard on DraftKings, even though Kevin Porter Jr., I still think is an elite tournament play. I think you play him in cash. I mean, Milwaukee's, he's the bright shining star on that franchise right now in terms of day-to-day fantasy. So if you're playing cash games on DraftKings, I think you play Kevin Porter Jr. I also think you play him in tournaments. Kirkdiese, what are you doing at point guard?
Yeah, I agree with you. For DraftKings, Kevin Porter Jr. is too cheap for his massive usage. Now, I will put a little caveat here that in the small samples of minutes, if I looked at Court IQ earlier in the day, in the small with Cam Thomas and Ryan Rollins both available, his usage hasn't been as high, but it was also the small amount of minutes that it didn't really, I don't think it matters that much. So it's the matchup, right? Like you got the fastest team, the Heat, you got Porter, who should have the highest usage on the team and is going to be looked to be gunning and has, good ceiling upside too as well. Even though he is probably the cash play too. So I do like him. I like him on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's going to get a little different because he's too expensive over there. But other than him, there's plenty of other plays here too as well. So I'll just go down the list. Hold on, my computer is all right. So Maxey, I like Maxey regardless. I like him in this matchup. He should be able to do whatever he wants. I don't care if Embiid plays, he's going to get his. If Embiid doesn't play, he's going to get his. It's probably a little better with Embiid out, but he actually plays better with Embiid. So it's kind of a wash. So I think he's there. I think you can get down the good game. Charlotte, your Hornets, right? Buzzing right now. Playing good basketball. It's nice to see they got a good team here. What do they can do from every angle? They can shoot the freaking three, right? You got LaMelo who's up running. You got Brandon Marshall shooting. You got Khan shooting, and now they're facing the Bulls, who give up the highest 3-point percentage makes. Also, they're like 22nd in opponent made threes per game. Their defense is just silly bad. So right now, LaMelo, there's going to be like somewhat of a minutes limit on him usually, but they do let him go sometimes. And if you catch him on the right game and when he's on, he can just go berserk like he just did against Washington. It was only 27 minutes and he put up 64 fantasy points. I like him. Actually, my guy tonight is going to be Miller when we get to him. But I like him. So Jalen Brunson chops plums, right? Chop has nice plums, right? You can always on Chop for a good plum here and there. So like that, Jalen Brunson. Harden is the guy that's coming through a little bit that I'm putting down the projection. I just don't like him as much with Donovan Mitchell now in this role. And I think Donovan Mitchell is probably the guy to play against the Knicks. And then there's Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I think is a good play. And then let me just sort by ownership here and see who's going to be. So this Alondes Williams kid, I don't know how much faith you can put. He'd have a 50 burger against the Pacers. He was good in the G League all year. He's trying to play for his shot, and he's getting close to 30 minutes, somewhere around there. It seems like he's only 4,300. So I like him, but he's a potential landmine in my eyes too, but he's only 4,300. So I don't think it's going to kill you, but those are the guys that I'm mainly looking at. Oh, and CJ McCollum.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. Okay. I don't mind CJ at all. He's 6,600, so I don't mind him at all. Kirkdiese, I did want to ask you. I know you talked about Alondes. There was some Rob Dillingham, he was kind of creeping into some lineups at one point. Now his projected ownership isn't high, but if you're building and you're just trying to get a little bit of salary relief, are any of these cheap point guards creeping into your lineups?
Yeah, I think Dillingham is a good play. He's 3,800. They gave him almost 25 minutes the other day. They've said they want to see him. I think he's a capable scorer. So I think that's in play for GPPs for sure.
Okay.
Cheaper. Well, you can always play Traore. It seems like he's getting good run. And would Cam Thomas shock you if he goes off in the limited in 20 something minutes?
Not really. I mean, obviously we know it's going to be, he'd be scoring 20 plus points. That's what it would be. It'd be 25 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, maybe a steal. But if he does that tonight, that's 30 fantasy points. He's right there. So
yeah. And another guy's point guard eligible is Quentin Grimes. His role is pretty much back to normal when he was the sixth man on the team. So he's been getting 28, 26, 29, 28 minutes. So I think you can feel confident in Quentin Grimes' minutes. And he's a guy that could, he's coming off of 37 fantasy points. And for 4,600, I think you take 37 fantasy points.
Absolutely. Let's move this thing right along. We're going to go to shooting guard. And once again, folks, I'm going to try to help cover cash here and just kind of talk through it. I think Khan's okay in cash. Obviously, he's 7,400, but we've really seen his production in this offense take off quite a bit as they've been winning more basketball games. And so, they seem committed to keeping him in that role. So I think he's fine for cash. Additionally, for cash, if you want to kind of get a little bit cheaper, this guy's going to be high owned, but Podziemski at 6,200, really good matchup against the Pelicans. So he's a guy that I definitely think you can get to in cash as well. So I wanted to give out those two guys. We'll move.
Who did you say first?
Khan from
Charlotte. Yeah.
I mean, his role's solid right now. He's not losing any minutes.
He's unbelievable. He's like I said, with all these guys, the Bulls give up just a ton of 3-pointers, and they're the easiest team to get 3-point shots up. Again, that's his game, right? So I like that call. I like Pod too. I worry a little bit about DeJounte, coming back at his first game here, how much time he spends on him, how many minutes DeJounte actually gets, whether he's starting or not. But I just worry a little bit. But he's make or break. He's a guy, he could screw you, or he could do a triple double right in your face. And they don't have Steph, so they need he's their scorer, right? So I like that call.
And that's really all that is. Yep.
Yeah. Dyson Daniels, I like in Washington. Dyson Daniels is a guy, I like him better on FanDuel because that's where you get the steals and the blocks upside. But if there's ever a matchup made for Dyson Daniels, it's the Wizards for all the steals and blocks that they give up. So I like that. Josh Hart, the Knicks are getting crowded, but he's only 6,600. He can, it's a big game. He can, feed the stat sheet everywhere. So I like that. Najee Marshall would be a guy on Dallas. I don't mind. I said before I like Donovan Mitchell and then Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He hasn't been scoring as much lately. With Sieges there, it's definitely affecting him, I think. But, this is a matchup with the Wizards, so he could absolutely go off.
Love it. And Kirkdiese just got notification on my other screen here. Looks like Joel Embiid knee available today. So it will be the Maxey and Embiid show, as they take on the Indiana Pacers. Should be easy for these guys to have a high-scoring affair. So I'm happy to see that. Just want to throw that in for the people. Did you have anything else at shooting guard, Kirkdiese? We want to move on to small forward.
No, let's move it over. It's just there's some of the same guys. Like I said, Cam Thomas before. I said Quentin Grimes before. Yeah. Just those same guys.
Yep. Now I know you mentioned Brandon Miller, so I'm not gonna steal your thunder there. I'm gonna let you talk about him and what he may do for your DFS lineups tonight. Guy that I want to mention, I'm also going to go out to the same game. This is a guy that I feel like he's up and down. I'm throwing him into the mix. That's Moses Moody. The minutes are there. It's a matchup with the Pelicans. The ownership isn't out of control on him tonight. So I like him quite a bit for slightly under the mid-range, Kirkdiese, if you will. So he's not quite 6K, right kind of in that mid-5K range. I think he's a guy that has some upside in this particular matchup tonight. And I think he's fine for cash. So I want to throw him in. And then let's hop over to tournaments. Kirkdiese, small forward, who we got?
Yeah, so you already said him before, and you let me do it, so I might as well talk about him. So Brandon Miller. So Bulls are just a great matchup for the Hornets all the way around. They play fast, fifth and pace. They're bad defense, 25th defensive rating. Give up tons of steals, tons of blocks, but they're 30th in opponent three-point percentage and 22nd in opponent made threes. They give up the three. So it's Khan, it's LaMelo, but Miller for the price is my guy tonight. Just because when he's on, he can fill up the stat sheet everywhere. He can get steals. He can get blocks. He can shoot the three. He can take the ball to the hoop. So I think this is going to be his big game tonight. It could very well be any of them. So, but he's just my guy tonight. He's the guy that I've flag planted, and I'm sticking with it. So I like that. I think you can play Jarace Walker. He's good. That's really all I gotta say. Like, he's coming into his own. He's going to be solid for minutes for the Pacers. He just hasn't had a bad game in a while. He's just really, like we've talked about him for the last couple of weeks now, that he's coming into his own. He was a high pick. He was, he's had a lot of expectation. Took him a little bit longer than some of the other guys, but he's finally found his groove, and so he's a solid play. Michael Porter Jr. I like a lot tonight. Brooklyn's actually favored to win, and they don't tank really. Like they play their guys seemingly. So, and that could change. You could always step on a landmine, like I said here at this point of the year, and I've done plenty of that. But MPJ, I think, is pretty good in this Dallas matchup. I like your Moses Moody call. If you need a cheap guy on the Pacers, Kobe Brown should be getting decent minutes for 4,600. Quentin Jackson's going to play too. It muddies it up a little bit, but he's 4,400. And then lastly, I'll just mention the guys again. I think Dyson Daniels is a really good play tonight against the Wizards.
Yeah, and I still like him on DraftKings, Kirkdiese, at 6,300. Like that's not a bad play at all. So love that call. Make sure if you don't have Dyson Daniels, man, inject that thing into some of your lineups quickly. You heard it here first with our good friend Kirkdiese. Going over to power forward, Kirkdiese. Obviously, we know we just can't play. I haven't really mentioned anybody overly expensive yet. Obviously, Jalen Johnson is in play tonight, right? Like, no doubt about it. If you're in cash games, I'm not going to encourage you to not play Jalen Johnson. This is a guy that has just gotten it done game after game.
If you want to be a game log watcher, just like pull up his game logs. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, like he just keeps getting it done.
Yeah, it just never stops.
He just keeps getting it done. So if you're deciding to spend up all the way up in cash games, he's definitely a guy that I like. What I will do, though, I've been talking about a lot of Golden State guys. I will say this. I'm going to go to Zion Williamson at 7,700. This is a guy that I think could pop for 45 to 50. Kirkdiese at 7,700. I'm willing to take a little bit of risk with him. So he's just someone I wanted to personally mention. Like I said, I think he's reasonable enough. I think, and I know we had people in the chat asking about Chris Middleton. I think Chris Middleton's a cash play tonight. I know this team is borderline tanking Kirkdiese, but they seem committed to giving him around 30 minutes. If Middleton's going to keep getting around 30 minutes and keep playing well at 5K, kind of a no-brainer for me in cash. I think you need to play him.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot better than I've always thought he was going to do, and so I think his minutes have been pretty good. His production has been awesome. He's cheap, 5K. Yeah, I like the call. I tagged Zion Williamson tonight. He's my favorite power forward play.
Wow,
He's only 7,700. The Warriors.
Yeah.
Dre could give him a problem. It'd be Draymond, but I don't even think Draymond Green's going to guard him. I think it's going to guard like Queen or DeAndre Jordan if they play him. I don't know why they're doing that now, but anyway, Zion, and then DeJounte might muddy up the waters a little bit, but I think he'll be good for Zion. I think he'll be looking to get points for Zion. The only thing it would take away is point Zion, which Zion's been running the point, and his production's gone up a little bit since doing that, but I think DeJounte Murray will also get him a bunch of open looks. So I love Zion tonight in this game with the Warriors. On the other side, for like a cheaper play in that same game is Guy Santos. Guys just been getting it done, gets the minutes, the thinned out squad. So
he's one of the better projected plays on the slate too. Like not just at the position, but I mean he's in terms of point per dollar, like he's like 5.64. But I mean, he's projected for we have him projected for 31.6 fantasy points, at least on my last update. At 5,600, I think we'd all take that, which obviously that's good production. So I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to get fantasy points. It's a good matchup with the Pelicans. So, yeah, I like that. And then I'm not really crazy about much else.
Okay.
I think I gave some good plays.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and I definitely feel like power forward, unless you're going all the way up, right? Unless you're going all the way up to Jalen Johnson, I'm mostly playing Zion and under. So Zion, and then I'm kind of almost skipping the 6K range, and I'm getting to the 5K guys. That's kind of the way I'm approaching this slate. I'm going to spend up in other spots unless I play Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, it's like Jalen Johnson's up there as the top of it. Then you got like Zion, and then there's like the Guy Santos, Jarris Walker, and plays like that. So yeah, I'm right with you.
Okay, let's go to center, and I'm going to start center with the question here. I think this is actually really important for lineups. It might not seem like it on the surface, but prior to injury, Joel Embiid was just on a mission, right, Kirkdiese? Like he was in that mode where it was 60 fantasy points or bust, essentially. He's 9,700. Obviously, Indiana is going to be a soft matchup for him. What to do with Joel Embiid? Like, if you look at his game log outside of that Clippers game, 72, 62, 49, 58, 66. The Clippers game was 36, 59, 51 against Phoenix. And he was playing reasonably good minutes. Feels like a great spot to play Embiid with no ownership if I'm in tournaments. Kirkdiese, what are your thoughts? I really like Embiid when I feel like nobody else is going to play him because of the injury situation, him just getting back.
Yeah, I think he's a good play. I think the thing to feel good about was that he was getting big minutes before, and I don't think I think it's his same knee issue that they just keep going with and resting him. So I think now that he's back, there's maybe a tiny bit of worry for minutes, but I think like even in 30 minutes against the Pacers, he could absolutely nuke. So he's not too expensive that it totally could kill you or anything. So I think he's a good play tonight. So I like him. Sorry, the guy I do. Let me get my dog for 1 second. All right, sorry, good. We're back. We're back. My favorite guy is Nick Claxton.
Okay.
So Dallas gives up the most points in the paint. Like I said, with Michael Porter Jr., they've been playing their guys. He's gotten over 30 minutes in his last 2 games. He's got 31, 32 minutes. He's someone that can absolutely crush in this matchup against Dallas. They just have no answer for anyone. We're looking at Gafford, Bagley, or Powell at worst. So, yeah, love Nicholas Claxton tonight. People never play him. They always worry about the Brooklyn stuff. He's just not the sexiest of names. So I like him a lot. I like Diabate for Charlotte now that he's back, off of his little suspension there. Like Jay Huff, Mika Potter. Huff or Potter would play one or the other. Not play them both together. And I think Bagley is probably worth a play too. At 4,700, he's been playing really well, at least from a fantasy perspective, and that's all we really care about.
He's picking up a fair amount of ownership too.
Yeah, I mean, he's not my favorite. I think he's fine. Like, so I would keep if I'm maxing, I'd keep him entry, probably even with the field, but I would try to put more overweight on like Claxton on the other side of that. And I wouldn't play them both together, actually.
Okay. Last question here, Kirkdiese. Oh, my bad. Were you done? I thought you were done. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just looking.
All right, I'm going to pose a question for you, and then we'll move to FanDuel and blow through that and then answer the people's questions. The people's questions. What are we doing with Nick Richards? 3,900. Matchup against Charlotte. Slight revenge here. I know he's going to Phoenix, I think, and come to Chicago, but he does provide salary relief if you want to get Frosty in some of your other spots. He's picking up some ownership, around 16%, at least according to our projections. I didn't expect to come into this show thinking about Nick Richards, but here we are, Kirkdiese. What are we doing here with Sticky Nicky?
I like the price. I just don't like the total upside, and I think there's some good center plays. Like I said, I think Claxton's going to go berserk tonight. I think Joel Embiid is a way to to crush the field at this position. I think you're hoping at best for a repeat performance of 25 fantasy points or something, which I think is fine and good. I wasn't really gonna go in after him tonight, but
okay.
If you say different, differently.
No. I'm on the Embiid train tonight for what it's worth. I'm paying up to get a little different and build. I'll be contrarian by playing Embiid at center, if that makes any sense. So the rest of my lineup construction will be built kind of around that, which will make me do some different things than the field. So just wanted to pull him up. All right, so I'm going over to FanDuel. What I want to do, Kirk, is let's kind of talk about differences because they heard us talk about DraftKings. If somebody's different, we'll talk about it. I think the main one for me at point guard is I am not playing Kevin Porter Jr. on FanDuel because he's 9,400, obviously. What are the guys maybe that you think are different than who you thought about? I do think LaMelo's really good on FanDuel at 8,700. Despite the fact that he could have more turnovers. But that's the problem, right? That's the FanDuel. I hate that, man.
That's like clicking Russ Westbrook on a night or clicking LaMelo on a night is just scary when like all of a sudden you're like negative 4 points in the right off the bat, you know.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts on FanDuel. Like I'm just avoiding Kevin Porter Jr. at all costs. The field probably is too, but it's still the right call. Like vast price difference between the sites.
Yeah. 1 second, my computer's just loading in here.
Yeah, all good.
All right, so
all good.
FanDuel. So FanDuel for point guards. I would say my favorite play. 1 second. Position point guard. Sorry, having computer issues. But I'd say CJ McCollum's price at 6,200 is pretty nice. I think you go you pay down here for a point guard. Colin Sexton maybe. They may be phasing him out a little bit too. I think they know what they have with him, but he does grade out pretty well. Cason Wallace without Shea is pretty decent, coming off of a nice game. And then I mentioned Dyson Daniels, shooting guard or point guard. Same thing with Brandon Podzinski, Maxey. All of these guys are still decent plays here, but I think my favorite for some reason, CJ McCollum is grading out in this little revenge matchup pretty well for me here.
Okay, and then randomly, then this is just me comparing. How much do you like Cam Thomas on FanDuel versus DraftKings?
Well, I like him better. He's a little cheaper on DK, right?
Yep, a little here.
Yeah,
kind of like
I don't think it really matters.
Cheaper on FanDuel,
yeah. I think I don't really care that much because it's like him. You're just hoping he just absolutely goes off, but it does make a difference. So I definitely like him better over on DraftKings, but I think you can play him in GDPs.
All right, sounds good. Moving to shooting. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah,
moving to shooting guard. I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we talked about on DraftKings. Anybody additional you want to kind of throw in there? And Wallace is a lot cheaper on FanDuel than DraftKings today. So I love the Wallace call on FanDuel. That was a big difference for me, where I think Wallace was around 67 or 65 on DraftKings. One of the two, but he was a lot more expensive. Love him on FanDuel tonight with the price difference.
Yeah. Moses Moody, your guy here, is priced beautifully here at 5,200.
Yeah.
As well. So he's a strong play. Chris Middleton, 5,200,
yes.
Same price basically on DraftKings, right around there. If he's going to keep playing like this and they're going to give him the minutes and he looks really good, he's going to be a buyout candidate, I think, to get onto some other team, but we'll see. But again, shooting guard, I'd probably play him at small forward, but if you want, you play him shooting guard. I've already said this, my boy, Brandon Miller, 7,900 here on FanDuel. And then also we talked about Dyson Daniels here at shooting guard, who is a little bit more expensive at 6,800 here on FanDuel, but you do get the nice stocks upside there with him. So those are the guys. I'm kind of like avoiding the pay up spots here for shooting guard. Besides Brandon Miller is like as high as I like.
Yeah, I totally get it. And now we're moving to small forward where we can get Jalen Johnson at power forward or small forward. And Kirkdiese, he's 11-3 on FanDuel. So a little bit more, 500 more bucks. Obviously, the salary distribution is a little bit different. If we're going straight up and we're taking one stud tonight, is it Jalen Johnson? Because nobody else is really close to his price. Like Embiid is still at under 9K on FanDuel even. Is Jalen Johnson your guy? Or do you sacrifice him to go a little bit more in the mid-range, Kirkdiese, when the guy's pretty much guaranteed to get 60 fantasy points?
Yeah, it's up to you. I think he's a good play. I don't think he's like a must play by any means because of that price tag. I think there is some downside, but he has been awesome. So the guy I like Michael Porter Jr. tonight. I like this Brooklyn-Dallas game. So like I said, I like Claxton and I like Michael Porter Jr. for my Brooklyn side. Other than that, Guy Santos is a little bit more pricey here at 6,300 on FanDuel, but he's been doing solid. Jarris Walker, and we just don't have like all a bunch of studs like you expect, but because a lot of the studs are playing in the later games. So those are my guys. I think you can. They're all. You can make a case for all of them. You can. So you said Jalen Johnson at the highest range, right below him, in 8,200 in that kind of mid-tier upper is Michael Porter Jr., Brandon Miller. So I like both of those. I love both of those guys. So I like lineups with both of those guys in them together. And then going down would be Moses Moody, Josh Hart, Jarris Walker, Guy Santos.
Okay, sounds good. And we are now moving to power forward, where it's some of the same names for small forward. Generally speaking, though, obviously you got Jalen Johnson again. Here you can get Cat at power forward as well if you decided to go that route. And maybe you could balance it out a little bit more if you didn't get to Jalen Johnson, or play Michael Porter Jr. and spread it out. At any rate, Kirkdiese, anybody extra at power forward that you want to throw in that we haven't talked about?
Well, we're going to talk about Zion again, right? I like them both.
Yes,
both
we
spots,
are.
So he's in play as a top play. I think we don't have Chet news yet, right? Holmgren.
Nothing official has come across my feed.
If Holmgren is playing, then I love Holmgren.
And he's 7,900 on FanDuel, a little bit cheaper than DraftKings. Big time spot.
Yeah. And without Shea, he's going to be the guy. So, and without Jalen Williams, he's going to be the guy. So I'm waiting on that news because I think it's big news, and I think he's a really solid play. And other than that, like I said, I like Zion. We got Jalen Johnson who can play here. Jarris Walker, Guy Santos, some of the same names. So there's a lot of overlap here, like usual on FanDuel. I think the one other guy who's power forward eligible, you get a little the dancing bear, Yabusele, little if you want to run back if you like people on the Charlotte side, you want to run back on the Chicago side. I think at 4,300, that could end up pretty good.
Absolutely. Moving to center, and then we're going to get these questions, Kirkdiese. I'm still team Embiid here for what it's worth, man. Because any other center that I may have played on FanDuel, I could get them at power forward. Embiid is like the only guy for me tonight, and I know you like Claxton, so I don't want to overshadow that. But in terms of the top end, Embiid is the guy that I'm like, look, man, let's get him in. He's center only eligible, so he's my guy. What are your thoughts?
Full disclosure, I always play Claxton too much, and so you don't have to let that be a little bit of a warning. But I do think he's a phenomenal play tonight. I do love your Embiid call here. You just got you just have the runaway potential here to just bury the rest of the field if the Pacers play this game close. Even if they don't, and Embiid just goes off on one of his where he goes berserk, which he should. Who's gonna guard him on this Pacers team? There's nobody. This is like the perfect matchup, and he loves to smash in these bad matchups or good matchups for him against bad teams. So I like that. I like Diabate. Lippy, our boy in chat here, is talking about. I would have thought he would have talked about the worst play on the slate, but he keeps talking about Hartenstein, who's not the worst play. So he's a good play. But the thing I'm going to warn you, little Lippy, I think he's a good play if Chet is out. Hartenstein is one of the guys on a minutes cap, so you're never going to get that huge ceiling right now with him. But at 5,900, you don't really need a ton. So I do like that play. So he is in play for sure. I like Diabate again. And let's see who else. I mean, you could play Huff on the other side of Embiid if Embiid's lazy on defense tonight. That could work out, but I don't love it. Oh, somebody that's going totally overlooked is Bam out of bio at 8,100.
I don't get Bam right, man, to be honest with you. Bam just has to sit on the shelf for me. He's like old school Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, I wouldn't play him. He smashes for 60. I play him. He has 15 fantasy points. I just don't get Bam right. Like, do you see all these 58, 49s? Look at the 28, the 21s. That's what I'm playing BAM for what it's worth. But I totally get it. I'm going to go ahead and hop to questions, Kirkdiese. And we did have one in the live stream chat, and they were just asking about how many unique do you put in your bill rule, 2, 3. Just kind of depends on the slate. So let's go. I'm going to start answering questions. Let's see. Somebody asked about Diabate. We like Diabate tonight. Richards, McCullum, White Revenge. I'm okay with Richards. Perfectly fine with McCullum. Kobe White is just okay for me. They're going to have to give him a little bit of a leash for this to work. I'm going through quickly, Kirkdiese, and so I'm going to try to get to the real questions. So this is one: Wallace Santos or Rob Dillingham and Miller on FanDuel. Which combo do you like better? So I guess that's Kaysen Wallace and Santos or Rob Dillingham and Brandon Miller on FanDuel. Which one do you like better?
The safest play will be the Wallace side and Santos, I think. But me personally, I'd rather take a shot with Dillingham and pair him with my guy Marshall, who I think is going off.
Gotcha. All right, this is coming from Ruthless Villain 420 QQ. Max Christie
Miller.
Max Christie or Pat Spencer raw points on DK. I actually think that could be kind of close, but Max Christie or Pat Spencer raw points on DK.
Hold on. So Max and then who?
Pat Spencer from Golden State.
Yeah. I would go Spencer.
Okay. Sounds good. Mark Grabowski says that B might not even play the fourth quarter. No thanks. I disagree. And if he does not play the fourth quarter, it means he's already smashed. Last piece in for a DK GPP, Chet or MPJ. I think yours is going to be MPJ. Am I correct?
Yeah, I wrote that if Chet is in, he'll probably be. I like him a lot. He'll probably be chalky. So I just go with MPJ. I like them both. Like those are I like all. So like if my favorite plays would be on the slate would be Zion, Claxton at center, then Zion. Mm-hmm. I love MPJ. I love Miller. I love Chet if he plays. So like these are all that's the range tonight. Like these guys that are like 77 to like 82, like around like 80, whatever, all have big upside. So I like that.
That was my lightning sound, which was very ineffective. We're going lightning round here, Kirkdiese. How about Bagley? Right. Yes, we like Bagley. Kobe Brown as a good cash option on FanDuel. Yep, don't hate that at all. Thoughts on DeJounte Murray tonight? I think he can pass and be okay.
You can't play him, I don't think. We don't even know what he's going to get for minutes.
Cam Thomas or Davion Mitchell. They did not say what site or game style option, but if you had to choose, Kirkdiese, Cam or Davion, which one?
Mitchell had a decent game last game, and he's going to have the minutes on his side. But like, let's go for the glory with Cam, right? Like a guy who will just absolutely light it up when he's on the court, even though he's not going to play a ton of minutes.
Here we go. This guy says, if Chet is out, do you like Jalen Williams? That's D Mills 24.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, sounds good. And guess what? It looks like we have hit the end, Kirkdiese. We went lightning round, got through this thing. I feel like we did a pretty good job answering questions, had good pace, had about 5 minutes to get the questions, but I think we took our time. We got through DraftKings and FanDuel effectively. And guys, Jug Nation in the building.
Let me
from the top rope.
Let me say a little something for Chief. I know that people are upset that Roth is gone. I am upset. Chief is upset. Everybody at RotoGrinders who works there is upset. It was the people who are outside RotoGrinders that make those decisions from far away overseas. So we all miss him. He's great. He keeps the show moving. But Chief steps up, right? Keeps the show moving. The show must go on. So, Chief, thank you so much for being being not only an analyst but also being, the host, which is big. And I'm a horrible host, so because it's tough to make a show go on. So, great job, Chief. Thanks everybody for sticking with us, and let's make some cash tonight.
Yeah, man, for sure.